Hello and welcome to Losers Watch Love
Blind.
is Blind.
Oh, we were not in sync on that.
Is blind. I'm Brandon.
I'm Crista.
And we're
Season what?
We're gonna talk about Love is Blind Season 8, USA.
Wow, Season 8.
8 whole seasons of this.
Holy shit. Okay. That's a lot of seasons.
Yeah.
And how many couples are still in love?
And only 5 years, so like 2 a year almost.
That makes sense, though. Like
They need to slow
They already have it set up, though.
They need to slow it down. Simmer it down.
What was your favorite season that we've watched?
3 or 4.
Remind me of a human on it.
3 had Cole.
Oh, that with Cutie's Orange season?
That was season 3.
Cole and Zainab.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Nancy and Barnett and
Yeah.
SK and Raven.
That was not a terrible season, but like...
And that angry fella who's not that bad now that he's not on the show / the edit. And that girl who didn't live together even though they got married and then didn't live together after a year.
Oh,
that was that one.
Oh, you're talking about Colleen and Matt.
Yes.
Yes, the dancer.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes, they are still together.
And then the really annoying couple, Brennan and...
Oh, Alexis, who are also together and having a baby.
Okay. Anyway.
I liked Brett and Tiffany.
That was
that
season 4.
I liked that one. And I really liked season 1, but you didn't really watch that. You watched the first 5 episodes. But that one, I think because it was the first season, was the most authentic season, and it was the best one. And there's still 2 couples madly in love from that season.
Yay!
And Burnett and Amber are about to have a baby.
And they're all blind.
And we know that Chelsea and Kwame still together, because we just watched a tiki-talkie of them.
Season 4, the good one.
I love Love.
Yeah.
I don't love Chelsea, but I love Love.
Ugh. Chelsea's fine.
She was okay.
No disparaging. She's fine. Trevor was not that season.
No, he was my least favorite person that's ever been on the show, though.
Ah, Trevor, you broke my heart. I was rooting for you. Poor guy. Not poor guy.
Not poor guy.
Poor everyone around you, Trevor. You
Yes.
piece of poop.
That.
Yeah.
All right. So to this season.
Season 8. What? Okay, so we're doing just the pods, the first batch, because for some reason they're torturing us with 6 whole episodes of pods.
It's way too much pods.
Way too much.
This season is longer, though. It's 13 episodes.
What?
But
that's one whole episode?
I know. It's just 6 is a lot, which, again, I've said it before. I think that not a lot of couples go very far, and that's why it's 6 episodes in the pods. Because they don't have enough show.
After the pod.
The season where that really tall guy, Martin, whatever, married that girl, they had a lot of pods because there was only 2 couples in the end. So they didn't have as much footage to show of them meeting their families and hanging out together and whatever. So it was a longer pod season.
And that's the one that had 2 couples that had to be erased.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but that's a bit different than this, I hope.
Well, we'll see.
Dun, dun, dun. I mean, with couples being erased.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know. I find this season boring.
It's because it's a lot of pods.
Yeah, and I always thought at the beginning that I wanted more pods because I felt like we didn't get a lot of pod info. But now it's too much pod.
Yeah, there should be a happy medium, and I don't think this season catches it.
No.
Maybe it would work more if there was more drama.
I'd give you 4 episodes a pod would be my ideal amount.
If they release 6 episodes altogether?
Well, I don't care how many episodes they release. I just think 4 episodes a pod is enough pods for me. I think 6 is just too much. You're telling me too much info without telling me any info. It's very confusing.
Well, it's all tell and not show.
Yeah.
Because pods are all about talking.
But we end up focusing on the same 3 people because the other people, even if they do get engaged, some of them just aren't
interesting.
Like Virginia, I know nothing about her still from this season. Yeah. And because we barely saw her, she barely spoke. But I know everything under the fucking sun about Madison. I could write that girl's biography from watching this. It's just, there's too much focus on certain people because they have drama, they have backstory, whatever. It's just too much pod.
Fair.
And that's where I'm at with this season. And all the men look the same.
Yeah, all the men well, not all the men, as I'm looking online currently for all the 30-some contestants, it just seems that everyone who didn't have that same haircut
Didn't get on the show.
didn't get to go on further.
When they said this was the most people they've ever had, like, I think they usually do 20, and I think they did 30 this time. So it's a lot of people that we don't see.
Yeah. And that they chose not to follow.
Which is fine. Like, obviously that's going to happen.
They have their storylines they wanted.
Oh, yeah, and they definitely...
The narratives they created.
And they definitely, like, change a lot of it. Not change, but they choose what we're seeing, and they're really choosing how they want to make people come off.
Yeah.
And that's... I don't know.
I mean, that's normal, but...
I know. It's just frustrating at the same time. All right.
Okay, so...
Let's go through our boring couples.
Wow, that's rude. Everyone is delightful. No one is boring. Okay, so our first couple we're going to talk about is Joey and Monica. The Friends couple. Get it? Get it?
Yes.
Because it's Joey and
I
it's
saw
Monica.
a joke about that, yeah.
Get it? I'm also white.
Okay. So, Joey, 34, physician associate. He really only talked to Monica the whole time, who was 27 and a digital marketing person. But, she chatted to Dave one time, and that was it. They were very, they didn't show us much besides them talking to each other, and even then they didn't show us a ton about them at all. I like Monica, though, and Joey. I think they're both just nice, normal people, which is why we didn't see much about them.
Yep.
I just don't like his voice.
He does have the thickest Minnesota accent.
And he has such a nasally voice. It's just a lot.
Aww.
But but I still like him. It's just I really like his voice is ingrained in my head.
It takes a little bit to get used to.
Yeah.
I'm sure. And he seems very nice, and I don't want to make fun of him. But, also in the show, the guys all do, a Joey impersonation contest.
Yeah.
Also, going back to this season in general on my thoughts, there's a lot of pods, but there's a lot of the guys' dorm and the girls' dorm. We don't usually get that much.
No, but they have to really make sure we know they eat and they don't get treated like garbage because they got sued and they just settled this year.
Yeah.
With the guy from season 4.
And also, no.
3.
2.
Is it 2?
It was 2.
Oh, okay. Well, they just... Oh, yeah, it was Shane. It was Shane's season.
Yes, it was Shane's season. It was not Shane.
No, sorry. I meant it was his season.
Shane wasn't the 2 lawyers was on the show.
No. So they have to make sure we know that they're treating their people respectfully instead of like shit.
Yes.
Yes.
But also they continue plots and we see more friendships of guys and girls and girls.
So all I learned about Joey in our time with him was that I hate his voice. He has 3 sisters and one of them died when he was 16. His other sister has cerebral palsy. Did I say that right?
Close enough.
Yeah, okay. And that's really it. And he really liked Monica and I thought they were cute.
Yep.
He was very bullied.
Oh, yeah.
In high school. And
he's not the only one. Everyone has trauma.
Yes. He was bullied a lot in high school, but he started playing football and that saved his life.
Yeah.
So that was nice. And he had a lot of offers from school and stuff, but he wanted to stay near home because of his sister.
Yep.
So he stayed instead of going, and that was a hard choice on him, and I'm sure it shaped him a lot, but his family really loves him. And that's what I put about Joey.
That's everything about Joey.
Yeah, it really wasn't a lot of info. And he seems very nice for the fact that he went through a lot. Yeah. It's not a lot, but it's enough.
It's enough, yeah.
Well, I feel like when a sibling has a disability like that, it's hard.
Yeah.
Like you have a lot to help and you're helping your family and you stayed away from school for that. Like that's nice.
Which sucks, but yeah.
Yeah, but that's sweet of him.
Yep. Monica she's taking care of her grandmother who is losing her mental aptitudes right now through aging/disease.
She has Alzheimer's.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, she has Alzheimer's. If
and
only Meredith Grey cured them and then she wouldn't have Alzheimer's anymore.
And she's currently in between jobs because she stopped working to go take care of her grandma and she felt really like she feels bad about it because of the stigma.
Yeah.
Joey's all cool about it though and makes her feel good about it.
They had a little silent dance party. I thought that was cute.
Yeah.
And that's all the info I had about Monica.
Yeah, they show us them in like episodes 1 and 2, and then Joey proposes, and then we don't see them until
We
the
see them
meetup.
meet, and that's it. And then
Yep.
we don't see them ever again after that.
Yeah.
We see Joey a bit in the guys' dorms,
Yeah.
and he's very sweet and supportive of everybody, but that's really it. But I thought their meeting was cute after they got engaged.
Yeah, they both came out with like good energy.
The
when they
same
saw each
energy,
other.
too.
Yeah.
I saw a TikTok of this girl who reenacts like the pod meetings, and it was very funny because it was just her being like, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god," and like that's all she did, and like bending over, she was just very excited, and she liked his ugly hair.
He has fine hair.
I don't like
He
long hair.
doesn't have the same haircut as everyone else. His is growing long, and he's doing that so that he can donate it.
Yes, that is very nice.
And he does describe that he normally has like it short and combed down and slicked or whatever. But Monica likes his hair, and
and wants to put it in a man bun for him. Gross.
And
Gross.
buns are great.
No.
She describes him as being Tarzan and that she's into it, and he's glad that she's into it. And they're like awkward a little bit, but like in a good, natural way.
No matter what, everybody's awkward. It's awkward.
Well,
you fell in love with this person, you said yes to their engagement in 10 days, and then you've never met them. It's awkward. You know?
Yeah.
Especially when you're an awkward person, which I feel like they both kind of are. As like a general statement, they're a little bit more awkward. So it's definitely hard. And then I liked that he asked her if he could kiss her. I thought that was cute.
Consent is important.
And that was their whole meeting. But the TikTok's funny. I should find it for you.
Next couple.
So Sarah and Ben.
Yes. Sarah, the second oncology nurse, 28.
The better oncology nurse.
The second one for reasons later. Ben, 27, account executive. That's their jobs.
So, what? Oh, yeah. So, okay. Sarah was 28. You didn't mention her age. God. So they only talked to each other that we saw. We didn't really see them talk to anyone else. Ben, at the beginning, when we first saw him, I wrote, why did they show us him interrupting her every 2 seconds?
Oh.
I wanted to punch him in the first episode we watched him. Every time Sarah spoke, he talked over her. And I was like, oh, do I hate this guy already? And I don't know if it was just the edit that they gave because I never really saw him do it again after that.
Yeah.
But it bothered me a lot. I felt bad for her.
I didn't note that at all.
All right. So we were watching a different show than each other.
Yeah.
But I have very little notes about him besides that he grew up in a very Christian house and he doesn't know for certain if he even believes in God. Or he believes in God, but he doesn't know.
Yes. And he would like his partner to go to church with him.
Yes.
Preferably.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a deal breaker.
Correct.
And
as far as we know.
I have that he's a bad listener because I think he's stupid.
Okay. Oh, I don't want to say anyone's stupid.
Not stupid, but like I think he just doesn't. I think his brain is elsewhere sometimes when he's listening. And I also think he's not knowledgeable, which isn't. I'm also not knowledgeable about
that
politics.
Comes up later.
Yeah, so they talk about politics and whatever. And I feel like me and Ben are very similar in this way where I don't vote. Ben doesn't vote because I'm not knowledgeable. I'd rather not. If I don't know, I'd rather not vote for something that I don't know about. And that's fine. But I feel like other topics that they talked about in the political side, like I just think he has no opinion on anything. And that's crazy. I still have an opinion.
Yeah. I
just don't have enough knowledge to go further than having a slight opinion about some things.
Okay.
And I know that I'm still stuck on him when she was talking about how he feels about Black Lives Matter and him saying, I don't care either way.
Yes, that was a turning point for you and hating him. I get it.
I still don't hate him, but I don't understand why the fuck that was your answer ever.
Yeah.
Because whether you know about it or not, you can't say, I don't know either way. You do know. Are you a piece of shit or are you not a piece of shit? Like, those are the two options, Ben. You are probably not a piece of shit. So why did you say you don't care? Anyways, that really bothered me because I feel like I'm very similar to his thinking for other things.
Yeah.
But I still have an opinion about that.
Yes. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
And I don't hate him. I really actually like Ben and Sarah together a lot.
Yeah.
I think they suit each other very well. And I actually have hope for them.
Mm-hmm.
Out of all the couples, they are one of my top ones that I have hope for. I just think that was weird, and I understand her side of it, of that's going to be a challenge for her because she does have opinions and she does think strongly about these things.
Yes.
But you and I still make it through that, where you have strong opinions, you read a lot about this, so maybe they'll still work.
Hopefully. Going off of that, because there's two major points that they have problems with, but we'll continue with the politics and the BLM stuff. It did happen very close to where they live.
Yep.
So it is definitely something that they should be aware of. He is 27, 28, whatever age.
27, yep.
That did happen 4 years ago. So he was 24 at the time. Not trying to make any excuses, but like when you're that young and also dealing with COVID, like if maybe he did explain those things. That's why he stayed more ignorant, but that wasn't shown to us. So I'm just making excuses for the possibilities, whatever. So anyway, politics, BLM.
I don't think your age should matter about BLM, because
okay, yes.
You're talking about, do people's lives matter? Yes, they do.
Yes.
They
Okay.
do. You should care.
100%. It's just like maybe you ignored the news about George Floyd and the riots,
Maybe
the situation at the time. Like
maybe, but like I've never read the news in my whole life, and I heard about it, and I knew about it, and I care about it. Like I don't know. I just think that was a wild thing to say on TV.
yes.
That's all.
This does become a sticking point for them.
Yes.
She wants to not continue with him basically at this point after this conversation.
Well, she isn't sure. Yes.
And then she goes back to the girls' dorm and she talks to someone, and they actually say like he sounds like he's willing to learn or try or like learn about these things with you.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not necessarily agree with you, but
which is fine.
Which is fine. But if she convinces Sarah that if he's willing to try, you might as well try.
Yeah.
Okay, the second thing that there was issues with, well, like not issues, but one of the bigger points that they brought up was Sarah has a gay sister.
Yep.
And because of Ben's religious family,
she was worried whether that would be okay for him or not.
Yeah.
But he was fine in that conversation where he said, yeah, I have no issue with that at all. Like, I totally understand. I'm not offended. I will love your sister. Like, which is fine. That's why it threw me off so much when later that conversation happened, and I was like, what the fuck? And I was very offended. Because I just think that's so weird, because that's not even like a religious point. Like the her sister being gay is more problem in Christianity and whatever. So that I would understand if he was more offended by, he shouldn't be, but I would get it more. The other part I don't get.
Yeah. And that's the first conversation they have about it, because they do come back to it later, like closer to proposal time, and they bring it up together. And he says that it's not her responsibility to teach him, but he does want to learn.
Yeah.
And he wants to do that for her. So like, Ace sounds like he's willing to try.
But they have very similar backgrounds, because they both were raised religious.
Yeah.
And neither one of them are sure what exactly they believe. Like, she does believe in God, but she doesn't really practice anything else part of it.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't even really, he was raised that way. He wants to go to church, but I don't think he knows what he believes either.
Yeah.
So I think there's a good growing point for the two of them, that they could spend that time and work through that stuff and learn together. And I think that's nice. I do really hope they stay together.
Yeah. So they propose. She says yes.
Yep.
They meet.
Yep.
Ben was super pumped.
Yep.
Yep.
I don't think she wasn't pumped. I think she's a very chill person.
Their energies did not match.
No. Like
Monica and Joey, but Ben was so pumped. He ran across that room.
Because she's pretty, and I get it.
Yep.
But he's also fine looking, so I don't think there was an issue. She said he was handsome. I just think that it's awkward, and each person reacts to this much differently when you first see them, and it's stressful.
Correct.
And I think I said to you, I think it was when they went, that you're also thinking about yourself. Like, you're self-conscious of your own person as a girl.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're first coming out, you're also like, oh shit, does he think I look okay? Am I fine? And it's a stress in your head. So sometimes you don't have the same reaction at the beginning as the man. I think because of that. Because later I think she warmed up to it a lot more. But that would be my initial thought. I'd be like, holy shit, do I look stupid? Before anything.
Warmed up through kissing because there was so much kissing.
They did kiss a lot.
Yes, because he was very excited.
Yes. I think that she liked him. I'm not 100%. Like, she said that he wasn't her initial type, or it took her a second. No, that's not what she said. Sorry. She said it took her a second to match the voice, and she was still like getting into that to be able to match the voice to what she was hearing and seeing his face and all of that. But she said that she was happy.
Yep.
So
he really liked her ring.
Yes, her ring.
She looked at her ring a bunch.
It was beautiful.
Yep.
So I have hope for them.
Okay.
That's where I'm at for them.
Hope.
So let's go to Taylor.
And Daniel. Daniel is 30.
Short king.
Short king.
He's 29.
Okay, sorry. I guess the website I'm looking at here is updated to this year.
Okay, well,
it was filmed last year.
In the show, he's 29.
He's a sales account executive.
Oh, I had sales manager.
Oh, well.
He does something in sales.
Yep.
Cool guy. He's a short king. Living his best life at 5'8", I think he said.
Something like that. I don't remember. He loves Christmas. He loves it so much.
I love Christmas. I looked at his Instagram, and I love his Instagram. It's just him in front of a fireplace with a Santa hat on, and
not in front of a Christmas tree.
Not in front of a Christmas tree. But in front of a fireplace, and he loves Christmas, and he makes his own Christmas cards every year. I love it. I would love to marry Daniel. Why don't we do a Christmas card?
Wow, ridiculous.
But they both love Christmas. Taylor also is obsessed with Christmas.
Yes.
It's cute. Match made in heaven.
Yeah, that one thing.
But they have other... Shut up.
They love Taco Bell. Taylor is 32. She is a registered nurse.
Yep. So she had like laryngitis or something and lost her voice.
Yeah.
For like 3 episodes. She sounded rough. That would be the roughest thing to happen when you're on a show where you can only talk.
Yeah.
Fucking blows.
And you need to talk.
Yeah.
So that you can continue to be on the show.
So that sucked for her. And for our ears the whole time. But I thought that Daniel was a very good dresser. I liked his outfits every episode. I think he dresses very nicely.
Oh.
And his one sister, well, his only sister was born blind.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
I'm pretty sure he said he knows sign language and stuff because his sister, deaf. That's not, wrong thing. Wrong person, wrong mindset. Moving on. I don't have much about him either.
They love Christmas. He started off doing Christmas cards as a joke. Now he does it every year. Gets all intense about it.
6 years.
Yeah. Taylor puts up 4 Christmas trees in her single bedroom apartment.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And he wants to do a fun Christmas card with his wife and kids. Yep. When he has a wife and kids.
They both match each other in wanting big families and doing things.
Yeah, like they were very aligned in everything. They don't really have drama yet. Well, they did have... Okay, I forgot that we can just talk about it because it was all in the same episode.
Same episode?
Like in the same 6 batch that we're talking about. So, I didn't have a lot for her either, just about her voice and that she really liked that Daniel loves his family a lot. Because that was a big thing for her, and she found him very comforting. And she was a huge overthinker. That's all she said about herself. But, so he proposes, she says yes, it's very sweet.
They have one conversation about following each other on Instagram.
Oh yeah, they do talk about it, and she said...
It's a weird thing to talk about, but we'll see why it got added to the story later.
It wasn't even... They talked about Instagram, because he... Like, it made sense.
Because there's self-consciousness, because he's self-conscious about his height and him being a short king, and then she says, my whole body...
And I have no issue with you talking about your social media. It's the fact that he said, well, what's your username, for one? That's fucking weird. Why does it matter? I mean, you don't have your phone. It's not like you can... Anyway, it doesn't matter. It was weird. Yeah. And then I thought that whole thing was weird. But then they met, and I liked their meeting.
They also exchanged gifts.
Well, everybody exchanged.
A bunch of couples exchanged gifts. That hasn't really been a thing that all the couples do.
They did it like right before getting engaged, most of them.
Yeah.
Yes. So they both gave each other a Christmas item. So he gave her his stocking that he puts up every year that has his initial on it. And he said, oh, we'll have to get you one made. And she said, I actually have this exact one with a T on it. It was like a cute, like hand knitted looking stocking.
And she gives him an ornament.
Yes. So both crazy about Christmas.
Again, sorry to repeat. That's
No,
the
but
only
it's
thing
cute.
they have together.
It's not. Anyways. So their meeting was nice. They were both nervous because he was short and he was worried about that. And she said, I remember her saying, well, if he's short, I'll just take my heels off. Any excuse to not wear heels is fine with me. And I thought that was nice because he's fucking short. They're the same
about
height.
the same height.
Yeah. So I don't think that's horrible. They still looked cute together.
Yeah.
They didn't really.
They had a good meetup, and that's the funny one you liked with, of course, I want alcohol.
Yes. Oh my God, that was funny. Is the sky blue? And he was like, what? Is the sky blue? And she's like, yeah, you asked if I want alcohol. Is the sky blue? Ha ha ha. They're hilarious. They're both little jokesters, and I think it's cute.
Yeah, they were both little cute jokesters.
Yeah.
Everything is great. No issues with them at all.
And this to me is a non-issue. So then we see them meet, they leave, everybody, whatever. They leave the pods and then we're done. And then we go to the scene of her in a hotel.
This is the last scene of the show. And I believe that the hotel is because they're all actually in hotels now. Okay. I don't think, they're not in a prison anymore. They have, the lounge during the day, and then I think they all go to their own, hotel at night.
Gotcha.
And then, they're prison hotels where they don't have phones or access to outside, I'm sure. So they probably just have fucking Netflix. And then
that's still better than nothing.
Yeah, because for seasons they were literally fighting for couch space.
Yeah.
But I feel like the way it probably works is you get there 7 a.m. till 9 p.m. at night or whatever. Maybe your schedule changes a little bit.
Yeah.
You film at the warehouse prison, and then you go to your hotel for the night, then you come back. And so we finally see her at the end, last thing of the 6 batches.
In
she's
hotel.
Doing a confession to the hotel.
So she's like, as soon as the doors open,
I had a sneaking suspicion.
I couldn't figure out what seemed so familiar about him. Was it because I heard his voice before? Was it just stupid shit? And she's like, I swear he follows me on Instagram or followed me a couple months ago. And for one, I'm like, okay. And she's like, so he knew it was me the whole time. Your name is fucking Taylor. So is 90% of people. I don't understand how you think he would know who you are. And she's like, and I have all this really personal stuff in my bio, that I love Taco Bell and that I'm Christian. Again, so is half of America. Taco Bell is huge in America.
Yes.
So
I am also a Taco Bell. I am the 50% of Taco Bell.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Your bio is not that personal. And then she's talking about how
it is a way to game the system. If he did in fact follow her or whatever, she says that he followed her and then unfollowed her. But he distinctly remembers the guy who's sitting in front of a Christmas tree with a drink in hand or
and
something.
His leg crossed.
Yeah. So she really thinks it's him.
I get it. I just think that in this experience, because you're not allowed to talk about that you're on the show until after you're done filming.
Yeah.
I think you're allowed to talk about it to your family, but you're not allowed to post about it or anything.
Yeah.
So how the fuck would he know that you're going on the show? And in the pods, you're like, oh, my name's Taylor. Okay. It just is very far-fetched to me that is your worry, that he knew who you were the whole time. And then, yes, maybe if the doors opened and he had followed you, whatever, he would maybe be like, oh, I recognize you. I just think it's stupid.
Yeah. Well, I get that, it could feel violating.
I guess, in the moment.
Yeah, maybe a little, stalker-ish. Not saying that he is a stalker or anything, and I'm not
I get it.
Disvalue her opinion on it and her feelings, because all are valid, and she is fine to feel this way. But yeah, to be fair, you maybe could talk to your producer, and then the producer looks it up before he can change Instagram about it. Maybe he did already do that, though. Who knows? But again, I agree with you. It's probably not that big of a deal.
I just think it's a non-issue.
Also, when you do the show in areas across America, you are limiting the pool down for compatibility issues. But they might have similar circles. They're all around the same age.
Yeah.
So maybe the degrees of separation are 2. So it is quite possible that you all follow each other or follow someone who follows someone. You all have mutuals or whatever.
It's just silly. So she then confronts him about it or talks to him about it. And he's like, what's wrong? Tell me. Like, I want to talk about it.
They're in the hotel together.
And then she tells him, why? Do you have a picture of you sitting in front of a Christmas tree? And he's like,
the drink in hand.
And he's like, no, I have one in front of a fireplace. So obviously I had to look at his Instagram and I found all his Christmas photos and I love them. Not in front of a Christmas tree, only in front of a fireplace multiple times.
He could have deleted it, to be fair.
But when? He's been on the show the whole time.
He could have done it before. I don't know.
The dude loves Christmas too much to do that. So I just think it's crazy. And he's just like, I don't think I follow you, but I don't think so. And then it ends.
Yes.
And then I know what happens.
That's where the 6th batch ends. You don't know nothing.
I do. Mallory told me today.
Wow.
I asked. Oh, I'm so nosy.
You're the worst. We are recording this literally the day after the next batch came out.
I know, but I'm nosy and I wanted to know, so I asked, and she only told me about that, and then I said, okay.
Your life ruiner.
Yeah, well.
Our financials depend on this podcast success. And
okay.
You are ruining it.
Do you want me to tell you who wins Love Island?
Get the fuck out of here.
Okay, so we're going to my least favorite trio.
Okay. Which one?
Virginia, Brittany, and Devon.
Devon. It's
Devon.
It's just Devon.
Okay, I thought it was Devon. Okay, so
just Devon.
So Devon's in his own little love triangle here. He's 28.
Excuse me, it's a love square. Basketball is the 4th bat.
So he's a program director and he does like basketball youth training and stuff.
He's program director of basketball for the youths.
Okay.
Everything is basketball.
He owns 100 pairs of sneakers, okay? He's a baller.
His photo is one of the ones on the Meet Them.
That doesn't even look like him.
It looks like he loves basketball, though.
Yes, it does.
You compare that to literally everybody
who's nicely dressed. And then there's
dress shirts and a suit jacket and stuff. And then it's just Devin looking like he plays basketball.
So he talks to 2 people. So he talks to
Brittany.
She's 34. Didn't catch her job.
Give me 1 second. She's number 1 on this list here. She is a partnership executive.
All these jobs sound made up half the time
lots of jobs sound made up.
I know. I just feel like my job doesn't. So, and then he's also speaking to Virginia, who's 33, and she's a healthcare recruiter.
Also, how old is Devin?
He is 28.
Yes. It's important because he's 5 years younger than
Brittany.
Yeah.
No, Virginia,
because they went to the same high school.
And he's 6 years younger than Brittany.
Yes. But the 5 years between him and Virginia,
because they went to high school together.
Well, they went to the same high school.
Yes. And he had to ask her if she cares about age because of the difference, and she said that she doesn't. It's just about maturity. So Virginia's fucking weird. And I know nothing about Virginia. And he mentions more than once that she doesn't open up to him at all.
Yes.
And he opens up about everything. And it makes me uncomfortable because I do not know. And then back to my TikTok girl who does all the videos about the reveals.
Don't spoil it for our audience. We're not there yet.
Fine.
Wow.
Remind me about that point.
She is looking for a patient and faith-driven guy who isn't arrogant or self-centered.
Okay.
She's interested in travel, art, and architecture, according to her Instagram. So, basic shit.
Remember when she chatted with Joey? That would have been a weird couple. I don't think she would have liked that.
We saw that they met.
Yeah.
Everyone meets everyone in day 1, but that's one of the ones we saw.
Yeah.
Real quick.
So she said that she usually dates older men that are self-centered.
Yeah, and she's looking to break the cycle.
Yes, and I wrote a big note that I dislike her. Because she just bothers me.
She's fine. She's a little mousy, as you said.
Very mousy. She's quiet. She doesn't talk, and she looks weird. Like, I don't know what it is about her. She doesn't look weird. That's the wrong word.
Fine.
She just, looks uncomfortable all the time that she's in here.
Yes.
Why are you here, then?
She does talk about, how she can't use her normal methods. She's used to being chased because she's a good-looking girl. She's used to being chased by men and not and this is different for her. And
I hate women. Yes, and she was like, I'm not quick to jump into things and
And
it's slower to open up. Then this is the wrong show for you. You have 10 days. You don't have a choice but to be fucking Madison and spew your whole goddamn life story in the first 2 days. Like, that's what this whole show is. You can't be on here if you're a mousy, quiet person.
yeah.
It doesn't work. Anyways, so that's my opinion on Virginia. Not my favorite. I liked Brittany.
Brittany loves basketball.
Yes, she does.
Then it would be a fine love triangle between the three of them.
Because she played and
Devin.
coached basketball.
Yes.
She still does, I think. And I really liked her. She said that her dad doesn't know she's on the show.
Oh, yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, and that's a problem.
Hey, I got married.
And both of their dad's legal names are Willie.
Oh, yeah.
Not William, Willie.
Yes, that was funny.
I think that's so random. But her mom knew she's on the show, so at least one of her parents knows.
Well, if Willie knows that Devin's on the show, then he knows that Devin's sister is on the show.
I liked her,
Yep.
but I didn't understand. So Devin shares not a lot about himself, but he does talk about himself. He shares stuff with Brittany, like both of them.
Yes.
But he shared a lot with Brittany, and then I feel like she felt the need to share something to like be on the same page and show that she wants to be open with him and talk to him. But I didn't understand her story about the girl liking her and that she didn't want to be with her but wanted to only sleep with her. Like, it was very confusing. And I thought it was a weird story. And then he was like, well, I don't know about my opinion on that. What?
Okay, hold on. Let's go back just a little bit.
Okay.
They both want to share things, get really deep.
Yeah.
They're at that point. Yes, I agree with you. Devin shares a story about how he was injured playing basketball.
Yes.
And he couldn't fix it.
And he basically wanted to kill himself, is what he said.
He got to
in
a
a
very
nicer
low
way.
point.
Yes.
Yes. He doesn't talk about suicide ideation.
No, he didn't, but it still was very on
the line.
Yes.
He did get surgery and it fixed him and it really saved his life and he thanks God for that. So he's become very religious since then. And then,
I thank him because it gives me hope about my surgery.
Okay. And then Brittany has to share, and she shares that she's been with women before, dated them, but she's not interested in marrying a woman.
Yeah, she only pictures her life with a man.
Yes. So that's why she's there, trying to find a husband. And Devin doesn't take this the best way, not the worst way, but not the best way either. He kind of shrinks from it, is how I would describe.
I think it just confuses me because I don't care about those things.
Yes.
I don't care if you like women. I don't care if you like men. That doesn't bother me. So in my head, I feel like this wasn't a deep story to me, but maybe it's just because I wouldn't care about it as the person hearing it.
Yes.
So I don't find it as a deep story. So maybe that's why I just don't understand in the same way. And then, yes, I agree. I don't think he took it the best, but I don't think it was the worst. But I don't think it should matter.
No, it definitely shouldn't matter. But the problem is because he didn't take it so well. Again, he didn't take it poorly. He was just like, that's a lot of information. I would like to take this back and think on it or whatever. Yeah. But it seemed to be a turning point in the relationship because they come together another time and they both seem to be in that conversation to end things.
Yes.
And it goes with Brittany going first. And she says that I didn't love how you reacted. Still have a lot of feelings for you. You're a great person. But she ends things because it's changed the vibe.
Well, yeah, because if that's not something you can accept about me, then unfortunately that's, even though I would be marrying you, that's not something you're accepting about my past.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Also, he did say when he was talking about his issues when he was younger in his basketball career, he said that he took a shit ton of Advil and overdosed on Advil. That's where I was saying the part about where he was very low and yes.
Yeah.
Anyways, sorry. I forgot that he had mentioned that. I didn't know you could overdose on Advil.
Yeah, I'm sure you can.
Crazy. I just wonder how much Advil you have to take for that.
Well, like he put numbers on it. And he was taking a lot and I think it was quote unquote ibuprofen. Is what he was saying.
Yeah.
No name brands here.
You can't say Advil. That's nice for him that worked for pain. If he took that, well, I guess it probably didn't, and that's why he took so many.
Yes.
I just find Advil useful. You're useless for that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Back to Virginia.
Back to Virginia.
Because they ended things. So then they gave each other gifts again. So he likes cooking a lot.
Yep.
Like, that's a big thing for him. Virginia definitely doesn't cook. So he gave her a cutting board with like a
saying on it.
Yeah, that he like put on it. And he also gave her a necklace with her initials on it. I don't like that. To me,
with his initials.
Yes, with his initials, which I don't like. If it was her initials, I would
like that more.
Yes, I find to me, if you gave me a necklace with your initials on it, it makes me feel like I'm now your property, and you're making, like, you're putting your brand on me. I just don't like that.
Okay.
I think that's weird.
Hold it.
Maybe she liked it, but to me, I would hate that.
Well, then I have to make an appointment to get your name untattooed on my chest.
Shut up. They don't know each other. Like, you've known each other for 9 days and you're trying to give me a necklace with your, I don't like it. I just don't like it. It's fun.
Well, like, you could get rid of it or give it back or whatever.
Well, let's see if she ever wears it.
True. I don't know.
So.
She gave him a ring, though. Her grandfather's ring.
Yeah, something like that.
That was nice. It was sentimental and stuff, meant a lot to her.
And then she gave him a camera and a passport cover that matched her passport cover. It was her grandmother's ring.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was an engagement ring.
Oh, I'm dumb.
It was her grandmother's engagement ring.
Leave me alone, I'm dumb.
But the camera and the passport thing was cute, I guess. I don't know. So then they meet.
They also wrote letters to each other right before they meet. They did the proposals during the letter writing. I was trying to write a journal, and then I wrote you a letter, and it's a love letter,
Stupid.
blah, blah, blah.
Stupid.
Wow. Yeah, I thought you loved love.
I do love love, but I think these people are going to break up in a heartbeat.
Uh-huh.
So, the letters were fine.
Yeah.
Whatever. That's fine. They were meh.
Okay, fine. They meet. They match energies.
So back to the TikTok girl.
Yeah.
So the TikTok girl did this one, and all she says is, "Thank you. Thank you." And he's like, "Oh, you're so beautiful. Thank you." Because that's all she said.
She calls him cute.
Like, once. And he's like telling her how beautiful she is.
You're cute.
And she's very awkward.
Yes.
Like, talking of awkward people, she was the most awkward.
And so shaky. Both of them very shaky.
Which is fine. You're nervous. I get that. She's just so mousy. You're a little mouse. Just want to squish you. I don't like her.
Okay.
I just think she's too mousy, and I really liked Brittany.
Yes.
And I think that Brittany and him would have had a better...
But that would have been too much basketball up in that house.
And they would have been great. They would have loved each other. They could have played basketball. I just don't see this dynamic working out. He's never been with someone who didn't play sports. He's never tried that with anyone.
But those things didn't work in the past.
I understand that. But I think my thing about her is she's too prissy for him.
Probably.
Is where my brain is. I just don't think they're going to have a lot to talk about.
No, that's fair.
And that's where I'm at for them. So I've got 2 votes for, I think, maybe Joey and Monaco.
We'll go through this at the end.
Okay.
Dummy.
Okay.
Gosh.
Okay. My second least favorite trio here.
Okay. Second. Okay.
So
Anyway, we got
David the douche.
David comes on a little strong and a little douchey as he starts. We get a little montage at the beginning of
him asking every single girl, "What's wrong with you?"
So what's wrong with you? Why are you here?
And I get it's supposed to be funny, but like, it's just not.
He lands it a little bit with some of them. I think he landed it with Molly, which is girl number 1, Molly. And
that's because she's stupid. Yep.
Wow. She's not stupid. She's fine. She's literally fine. Anyway, he is a medical device salesperson. He is 32.
He owns his own business selling medical devices. I'd like to
Yes. He has 40 cousins. He dislikes Botox and loves Christmas.
He also loves... He's never talked about... in the pods, he never once talked
about...
It's on
his...
That bio is a lie.
It's on the bio. He does talk about like medical sales and stuff and Botox, and he's just like, I'm here because I'm in that field. I see a lot of women who do Botox and stuff and try to look good, and like it's all superficial, and I'm trying to change my ways, because he does come off as a little douchey.
And he never becomes not douchey to me.
He's a little better.
A little better, but he's still douchey. And I don't know if his douchey or his sense of humor just is not in line with mine.
Little column A, little column B.
Yeah. So he's very... I just don't like him. I want to like him, but I just don't. Because he's chatting to Molly.
Yeah.
Who is 29 and she's an executive assistant.
Yep.
She's never had a boyfriend before.
Correct.
So let's get a husband.
Yeah, she talks about that a lot. She's never had a serious boyfriend.
Only situationships.
Yeah. She is a former Minnesota Timberwolves cheerleader, which does come up in conversation.
I hate her bangs. Yep.
Okay, rude. Yeah, she's nice. You find her annoying, but she's nice.
I really found it annoying when she said that her biggest fear is exorcisms because religious people are fucked. Like, what are you talking about? Anyways, it's fine. It's fine. It's not that I just find her very annoying, and it's a combo of her voice and her personality that just isn't my person. Like, I would not be friends with you.
Oh.
And I think that's what it is more. But Lauren, his other person he's talking to, she's 30 and she's an education salesperson, and she used to be a 6th grade reading teacher. I love Lauren. Lauren is the one person in the world I want to find love so badly. She is so fucking sweet, and she's like the most genuine person on the show, and she's the nicest person. I love Lauren.
Okay.
What is wrong with Lauren?
I think she doesn't handle the situation the best way the whole time, and to each their own when dealing with these things. But the love triangle part.
What did sweet Lauren do to you in the love triangle?
Nothing. She just gets a little too, I don't know how to explain it. A little too complain-y.
Okay.
Which is perfectly valid because you're in a weird messed up situation where you're all dating multiple people and you overlap.
But picture this. You're talking to a person. You really like him. No,
agree.
let me talk.
No, we don't need to.
And then
I agree.
you have this other person who's talking, and you're all trying to keep your cards close to your chest until this bitch walks in and says, Dave's my number one. I love him. He told me that that I'm his number one and I'm his favorite, and blah. Like, I would be miserable if every day I had to listen to that, when that's not, like,
yes,
the whole point is to try not to do stuff like that, because you never know who the other people are talking to, and the point of this experiment is to talk to different people and find your person. So I feel like to come in every day after you have your person talking to someone else and they're bragging about it and they're going on and on about it, that makes you feel like shit.
I agree. And she's perfectly valid to feel that way. I agree. It's just we're shown that a lot, and she gets a little bitter about it. Just a little bit.
And Molly gets annoying about it. And that's when I hit that. At first, I didn't find her that annoying. But after all of that middle piece where she always came in and was like that, that's what made me think she was annoying. Because I didn't like that. Because I think you should be more concerned, to yourself on this process. Because of that.
But you're not on your own. You're with 15 other women going through the same thing, and you all want to talk about it. And then Lauren gets a little sour and leaves situations because she can't handle it, which is perfectly fine for her. But it's like a mood killer. I don't know. Again, nothing wrong with Lauren. She's great. I like Lauren a lot too.
Well, we all know who doesn't get chosen.
No, we don't, because we haven't got there yet. Gosh, we're going on this journey together, audience.
Okay. Well, Lauren said she has a party side. I think she's kind of boring. I think at the beginning she's very boring. Okay. She's just very, I think she's a very calm person. So when she talks, it's just...
She's articulate and specific.
And kind of boring.
Okay.
But she said she has a party side, so I'm sure it's fun.
She wants to mesh her family with another person's family.
Mm-hmm. She doesn't really talk about herself that much if we really think about it.
Yeah, because comparatively, we know that Molly has an ass tattoo.
Yeah, Molly doesn't shut the fuck up. That's another problem I have with her.
But Molly's cool, so she's fine.
Except you know what I didn't like though? Well, I mean, I don't like Molly, but I didn't like how much she talked about sex at the beginning. But who knows? Maybe it wasn't at the beginning for them.
Yeah.
But it was a lot to me. Like they talked about it a lot, and I feel like they had more of a sexual connection than an emotional connection.
Which I think is found often in the pods. It's like some people you just mesh with in different ways, and for Molly and David, it's like fun, jokey, and then like kind of like flirty sexual stuff, and then Lauren seems to be getting like the deepness and
emotional side
of that.
And like, do you base a marriage off of a sexual side?
Well, usually you don't.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
But that's the hard part about that whole side, is that that's what I kept seeing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know if that can work. But yes, she has 3 tattoos. One's an ass tattoo. She owns her own house. She thinks sex is super important if you love someone. That's really all I have about her. But like very specific points about Molly. Those are the specific points that I kind of had. But I just really didn't appreciate how much she went in and blabbed about Dave extremely loud in the women's quarters.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm on your side for that. I'm on Lauren's side for that. It does suck. David, I do want to mention that his mom died 6 years ago. Breast cancer.
I was just gonna say that.
So, like, he gets emotional about that, reveals that.
He was raised Catholic. He said he was a typical white dude.
Yep.
He doesn't like scary movies because he's a big baby. And I'm sure Molly also doesn't, since she's scared of exorcisms. Probably hates The Exorcist.
That's how they got on that conversation.
His older sister is very much not happy he's on the show. And that's going to be a problem later, for sure.
Later.
Because she doesn't agree with this, and she doesn't think that anyone's good enough for him. Mm-hmm. He's a douche.
Yeah, he is a douche. He does have a conversation where he talks about how he was really shitty in school, didn't apply himself, and that he calls himself, he's a douche.
And I just, what do you mean no one's good enough for him? Is he good enough for anybody else?
Yeah. He cheated on his last relationship.
I'm not going to fault him for that.
You're not going to?
No.
Okay.
I feel like he gave a reason about it. I don't remember what it was.
I don't think he did.
I thought he did. I don't know.
I think Molly just forgave him for his past history because that's not now. I think that's how we glazed over all that.
I think cheating has a reason sometimes, or like, I want to hear you out for why. Yeah. But he said, other women will hit on me, but I won't entertain it. Shut up, Dave.
Yeah.
Just shut up. He's just so full of himself. I can't. Where's his necklace with his initials on it to give to someone?
Molly has a similar situation where she was the other girl in someone's relationship.
Yep.
So, like, maybe that's why the understanding came from.
Yep. He also has 3 tattoos, like Molly. But 2 of them are his mom's handwriting because she died.
Yep.
I thought that was nice. And he's in a book club with his friends.
That's nice. That's so nice and smart of him.
Was it?
Who doesn't?
Well, I wrote book club with friends sounds like he's dumb. So whatever he said about the book club sounded like he was dumb.
Oh, rude.
So yeah, so there's a lot of drama between them because of Molly
and
Lauren talking in the other room in this, like, their own space.
Well, they don't talk though. That's the thing.
They do after.
They never speak to each other alone. It's like everyone has little friend cliques and like people you go into the girls' room and then you start discussing things with.
People that you know aren't talking to your man.
Yeah. So Molly and Lauren are both doing that, and Lauren knows that it's Molly. Molly doesn't know that it's Lauren.
Yes.
I don't think.
Well, and that's the other thing that Lauren talks about. Like, if she does know, then she's being shitty.
Yes.
But if she doesn't know, which, I mean, she does in the end say she didn't know, and I do believe her, like Molly. at the end
Yeah.
when they're chatting. She says, like, I didn't know it was you, and then I felt so stupid after because I was saying all this stuff. Like, I do get it. It's just in the moment, it feels so shitty as the other person to hear you saying all that.
Yeah.
So it's hard because she thinks that she's his number one, and like, do we even ever really know who his number one is? Like, he doesn't really tell you. He's very torn between the two of them.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Like, he has very different connections with both of them, so I understand needing the time to work on it and figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, like, Lauren just point blank says, like, you are the only person I want to be with.
Well, they both do that.
Yeah.
Separately to Dave. Because, like, Molly says it first, and that becomes, like, or, no, I think they both do it around the same time.
But we don't know. That's the problem.
Yeah. But it's around the same time in the show.
Yeah.
And
like Lauren says, I'm scared to get hurt, and she's trying to open up to him, and she brings up telling it, like, she makes jokes all the time about canceling his next date, but she doesn't give him a lot until near the end.
Yeah. She doesn't give out any ultimatums. She's waiting to be chosen.
Yeah, and she doesn't express herself the whole time a lot. Like, she does it in a joking way, like saying, cancel your next date, and your dates aren't going to be as good as our date. Like, but she never says until near the end, like, hey, I really like you. I really want to keep talking to you. Like, she never says that. And he mentions that about how he didn't know how much she really felt about him, because Molly's the opposite. Molly all the time is like, you're my number one, I really like you, and whatever.
Yeah,
so
we basically don't see Molly with anyone else ever.
No, not at all. So I think that's where it gets hard too. Yeah, Lauren didn't either. But it gets hard there because you have somebody constantly validating you and telling you you're the one, and if Molly wasn't his number one the whole time, and say Lauren was, and then she was never validating him, like, I can see how that would be so hard and confusing in his head. But
yeah, when it comes up at the end. Yeah.
But anyway, so that all happens.
We get one conversation between Molly and David, which I liked and thought that made a good match, is that they both don't do 9 to 5s. They're both very busy. She has like one work schedule, and then like her dancing or cheerleading or whatever she does.
Yeah. And sometimes she's not home till 10 p.m. or whatever. Yeah,
and then Dave's like, I have this business and I'm busy, blah blah blah, and I need a girl who isn't going to be like needing me for all of her entertainment, etc., etc. Which I think is the exact opposite of Lauren.
Yeah.
Who probably works like a 9 to 5-esque job.
Yes, but you can have hobbies and stuff. Like, that's a thing. Yes, you can work 9 to 5, but you could do other things. Like, I'm sure people have hobbies and things. Not me, not us. Yeah. We're TV watchers. We don't do anything. But
we talk about podcasts.
But other people do.
We talk about TV shows on podcasts. Yeah.
So, anything else on them before we get to the nitty gritty?
Well, we get to right before the nitty gritty, which is Molly and David talk about her style of rings. Yes. This is the intro into the nitty gritty, which really seems like, and he doesn't say like, I'm going to get you a ring or anything.
Well, right before he asks this too, the conversation with Lauren is, I could see myself proposing to you.
Yeah.
That's before he asks Molly about ring styles. That was before.
And then he talks to Molly about ring styles, and like they go through different ideas for rings or whatever, and she's never thought about it, blah, blah.
And that's really all they say about it.
Yes, but then it's like you're asking about rings for one, and then you're telling the other one that you want to propose to them.
But so, here's the thing. What if he asked her about rings the first day?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, the edit is really hard.
Yeah.
Because we have no way to know whether that conversation was right near the end, or if he asked that at the beginning to be like, hey, what kind of ring styles do you like? And like, you're there to propose, so
yeah,
if there's fair.
We don't know.
Yeah.
You're right.
That's the hard part, because I think they did it on purpose of putting it there, regardless of when it was.
Yeah.
That happens.
So, and then there's like a time in the girls' lounge or whatever, and Molly comes in and it's just like thinking she's his number one and back and forth, and Lauren hears that. And then Lauren's talking to someone and saying, like, who's more Delulu, me or her? Like, or are we both being led on or whatever?
Yeah, like, is he playing us both and saying the same thing to both of us?
Yes, which has been a problem in other seasons.
Yep.
Season 5.
Well, I'm sure it's hard not to.
For shizzle.
So then
Lauren confronts
Dave
about
yes. As she should.
As she should, yes.
And he doesn't really deny it.
No. He goes back, like, he explains, like, he's going back and forth, and,
Yeah.
like, you're both very high, but he didn't, like, want to tell everyone that Molly was his number one. This is also where he's kind of douchey, because he says stuff like, he's kind of, like, turns it back on Lauren a little bit and makes it sound like it's Molly's fault. She shouldn't have let it slip.
I mean, I do somewhat agree with that. I don't think you should have been over there fucking yapping about your thing to everyone, but you shouldn't say the same thing to two people. But it's also probably really hard because in the moment, and we've seen this where they're like, I'm so sure of my conversation, and then I get to my next one and my brain gets confused again because I'm feeling that way again in this conversation.
Right.
And that's where I think it gets hard to not say the same thing to people because you get so caught up in the moment and you're very unsure. I don't know. I don't think I could handle this situation very well being in here.
Well, that's why we're not on the show.
Yes.
We're normal people.
So then finally Dave breaks up with Molly.
Yes. And she's super cool about it.
Until she gets out of there.
Well, yeah, but like at the time, which is the most important part, is when you're dealing with the breakup.
But the thing is, what do you want her to do? Fucking throw shit around and be like,
No, I don't want her to do. I want her to do whatever she wants to do. I'm not saying there's a better way to handle this. I'm just saying that, and he says it a lot, that you're being really cool and understanding about all this. And she like talks him through it and it's just like, I get it. This sucks, but like, I wish you were choosing me, but I get it.
Because you don't want to cry in front of the man.
Yeah.
The man don't get that power. Fuck that guy. You know?
Yeah.
So then she, after they break up, she leaves and her and Lauren sit down and have a conversation.
And have their first one-on-one conversation. The strangest thing.
That now it's all of a sudden the time. It's because she's crying and Lauren sees her and she's like, are you okay?
But like, we don't see any other women there. So I feel
it's weird, yeah.
I feel like they got cleared out so that it would just be the two of them there.
But I also feel like they were on dates because the dates should have been longer, but because they broke up, it was short. And Lauren's not going to be on another date because she's only dating him. Because by that point, we were near when they are proposing.
Yeah.
So anybody who had already ended their relationships go home. Once they're done, they leave. So
yeah, but I don't think everyone is leaving. I think that there's lots of people that probably are getting engaged that just aren't shown to us.
Yes.
And should be around in these situations.
But I feel like they might have been on a date. It's hard. It's hard because we don't know. But I do think a lot of them are on dates and their date got cut short. So they're in there and they're talking and they have a good conversation. She cries. She says that he's picking you and like.
Yeah, this is where Molly says, like, I didn't know it was you.
Yeah.
Until time, blah, blah. And then they like confess, like Lauren says, like, yeah, I knew it was you and this is why I've been acting this way, blah, blah, blah.
And they like kind of make up their friendship again, like, and understand because now the situation's over so they can. Yeah. I don't think it's ever that Lauren didn't like Molly. I just don't think she likes hearing about somebody else with her couple. I get it. It's hard. So then we see Lauren go back in to talk to Dave.
Yep.
And they have a nice little convo.
He's feeling better about things because he only wants to be with Lauren. Lauren does still like confront them about them. Molly was expecting that Dave was going to break up with someone like the day before.
Yes.
And then that didn't happen. She didn't know it was going to be Lauren.
Yeah.
But she believed that Dave was going to break up with
whoever his other person.
Blah, blah, blah. So Lauren was confronting him about it and he denied it. So like, again, I don't know if I like Dave. I don't know if
But also, we never saw him say that.
Yeah, we didn't.
So is Molly Delulu? Or was she not? Like, we don't see enough to know. We only know what the narrative the producers want us to see.
Yes.
And that's the shitty part.
Yeah.
So
next day, it's Valentine's Day or something, and that's when we see them next.
No, it is Valentine's Day. So cute.
Madam Web came out.
Anyways, did they give each other gifts?
I don't know if we do the gifts.
I don't think they did.
Yeah, I don't know. But this is the proposal day. He proposes on Valentine's Day.
Dave is never going to give someone a gift. Let's be realistic.
He might have emotional or junk around his house.
He doesn't. So he proposes. Lauren says yes. Blah, blah, blah. They meet.
Yep. They're both equally into it seems. There's no running involved, though. Lame.
Lauren doesn't look like a runner. She looks like she's a calm, cool, collected cucumber.
They both say that they both look like how they imagined each other.
Yep. I thought they were cute. I don't like Dave, and I'm mad because I know Dave's gonna hurt little poor Lauren because he's a fucking douchebag. But I think if they can figure it out and work together, maybe they could be cute.
Maybe. Lauren's cute enough on her own. And Molly was still cool.
Sure. So we'll move on to our
final grouping. The 4 people.
So
that are in a weird V's. Several V's.
So we've got Alex, 29, commercial real estate broker. He looks like everyone else. He is talking to Madison, who is 27 and has no job, aka an artist. And then we've got Madison, who's talking to Mason as well, who's 33 and a cinematographer.
Yep.
And then we have Mason, who's also talking to Meg, who's 30 and her other oncology nurse.
The first oncology nurse.
So we have a little foursome going on. So we have Alex. Alex is a little sweet bean. He's another short king. Well, I don't think he's that short, but he's the shorter king. He just wants someone kind. That's what he's looking for because he was extremely bullied as a child. Like, extremely bullied. And that's very sad.
Yeah, he was a little nerd kid, got bullied, didn't grow until he hit, like, 17 or whatever.
His parents were shitty and kicked him out of his house. Like, he didn't have the greatest of... It's not that... He didn't have not the worst, but he didn't have an amazing childhood of... He got bullied a lot. Like, a lot. Yeah. And I feel for him. And... Not compared to Madison, though. Let me tell you, his childhood sounds like a dream. So he is only chatting to Madison. He's not talking to anyone else.
That we see.
He has abandonment issues. And yeah, that's kind of... I don't know. Him and Madison, my first hit in them talking. I think they're a cute little match.
Yep.
Until they talk about their different styles of conflict.
Yes.
Because that is a huge communication
issue that they go through repeatedly.
Yes. So she is an avoidance.
Yeah.
And he's not. And there is to a point where you can avoid. I understand needing to walk away for 5 minutes and whatever. But she is like, I'm going to shut down and I'm not going to speak anymore. And I'm just going to tell you to stop speaking. Like,
yes.
It's very intense.
Yes.
And he's a sweet little bean, and he just wants to make you happy.
Yes, and if you have issues, he wants to discuss them and figure it out, but yeah.
And, like, help. Like, he wants to help you. That's his whole thing, is he just wants to find a way to help. So then we have Madison, who grew up in Indiana, moved to Paris, went to the Middle East. She's a traveler because she's an artist. Yes. So she can do art anywhere.
You hate Madison. I get it.
I really hate Madison. I think it's cool that she learned Arabic and then taught English at night when she lived in the Middle East. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, she's had a cool journey in life. She's got a lot of trauma.
Yeah, this is the most trauma dumping I've seen in any show we've watched.
A lot of memes online are just like, this season is snooze fest, and then broken up with commercials of trauma dumping and then more snoozing. Which
a lot.
It is a lot. She talks a lot about her past, her parents being, or like her family members being addicted to drugs, them choosing the drugs over her being bullied in school, lots of stuff.
Yeah, like both her parents were druggies, and I think did her dad die?
I feel like it did.
I think her dad died, then the stepdad and her mom met in rehab, and then he also was a druggie, and then at some point she gave them an ultimatum and said, you pick the drugs or you pick me, and they picked the drugs. So here we are.
Yeah.
Oh, and it was her stepdad died from drugs and overdose. Okay. So maybe both her dads died of drugs. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Not fully sure.
So that's her first trauma dump. There's more. She has 3 siblings. and she really likes reading. And then she lost her one brother when she was 20, and he died in a car accident.
Yep.
She said a lot of people die in her life. It is very sad.
Yes.
And that's really, she brought a teddy bear.
Barely in.
Yep. That she gives to Alex for a night, which was cute.
Yeah. Should we introduce
Oh, yeah.
and Meg?
Well, I guess.
I know you went on your tangent. You went on your run. Mason. So so Madison is talking to Alex and is also talking to Mason. Mason is, what was he again?
He's a cinematographer and he does commercials and documentaries.
Yes. And he got onto that because he did like skateboarding and then took photos of it and with his friends and stuff and did little videos or whatever and then got into that. So he's an artist of some form and so is she. And they bonded over that initially.
He's a Packers fan.
Yep.
I got that. And he's a morning person.
Yeah.
And he believes in aliens and ghosts.
Aliens, ghosts. He likes talking about conspiracy theories. He loves the movie Her, which, like, it's a good movie, but, like, it's not your favorite movie. You're a liar. You are only thinking about this because of the situation you're in where you're falling in love with a voice, which is what Joaquin Phoenix does.
And Madison's never heard of the movie, but Meg's first thing she said was, my favorite movie is Her. So, here we are. Her. He's...
I like Mason. He's
fine.
Alex and Mason, both very nice, good people, seems like. Neither one of them have any glaring issues.
Yes. My only issue with the two of them is they like Madison. And that's where I'm at.
Mason and Madison's relationship falls into that more sexual side.
Yes, very much so. Whereas with Alex, it's not like that.
Yeah, Alex is the emotional stuff, the barely in sharing stuff, and then with Mason it's my nipples are pierced.
Yes.
And I like dessert, aka cream pies.
Yes. Whereas Mason and Meg's connection is not like that either. They have the more emotional side as well.
Yeah. He describes his relationship with Meg as like, I think something and then she says it that same second.
Yes.
And yeah.
Like they're very similar people.
Meg.
Outgoing and talks way too much.
She's very open, also into aliens and ghosts and what are the possibilities? Everything could happen. Very out there personality, a little energetic.
Her name is Margaret. I got that. Yep. She's never lived with a partner.
Yeah.
And that's really all I had about Meg. Like, again, I feel like this, because there's so much overlapping between all these people,
that we don't learn a lot about.
Except, why do I know all about Madison?
Yeah.
It's crazy. I just feel like it's so focused on her. And no one else.
Well, that's because she brings the most drama.
She's stupid. So, I don't even know where to go from here with this. Do you want me to tell you more about Madison's traumatic life? Like, I don't know.
If it's relevant, I don't know.
It's not.
Yeah.
She just shares too much. It's just not. It's just a weird dynamic because we have two very different connections on both of these sides.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very confusing. And then we get into the point where Meg talks openly about her connection in the girls' room.
Yes.
About how she is talking to Mason and how she's his number one. And it's just a lot of talking out loud. And I don't know, do they know that it's the other person talking to him?
I don't know.
It's very unclear.
Madison definitely knows it's Meg, at least midway through.
Yes, but I don't think Meg knew it was Madison till the end.
I'm not 100% sure. Near-ish the end, I guess. But Madison definitely knew because as she's going through things and she's liking on both of them, she says, like, I like Mason less because I know that he's talking to Meg and Meg is bragging or like being all chipper and happy about it, which is like an understandable feeling.
Well, on her other side that I didn't like is that she said more than once that she doesn't know if she should just lean towards Alex because if she goes towards Mason, then she's sending someone home.
Yes.
Which is, I guess, kind, but that's not, you're here for you. Yeah. You're not here for friendship. Like, you guys are here to find a potential husband. I don't know. That shouldn't matter. Also, she doesn't have a heart, so I don't believe you now anyway. Like, the more I learned about her, the more I'm like, oh, you're full of shit. So, I don't know. It was a very weird situation. All of this was odd. So, at some point, Meg knows that she's not Mason's number one. She talks about how she knows that she's not. They had a conversation. She felt weird when she left it because she knew that she was no longer his top. Or, well, I don't know if she ever knew he was top. But, so that was something that she just was like, I'm going to keep trying to talk to him and see. But she knew that she wasn't.
Yeah, Mason goes and talks and says that, like, I'm so confused every time I leave because it's one and then it's the other, blah, blah.
But she also says that she's been playing it so coy and, like, closer to her chest when she's talking to him. So, yeah, obviously you're not his number one. It's the same situation as before where they were validating each other, like Mason and Madison, a lot. And Meg wasn't as much. Meg was having great conversation with him and they had a good connection. But she wasn't sitting there and being like, I really like you. You're the only one for me. Like, she didn't do that at the beginning. And she talks about how she didn't. And I think that's part of the reason that he
felt more feelings for Madison.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's hard. It's hard.
Yes. But, like, Alex and Madison also continue to build, like, a strong connection throughout the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they all have great conversations.
Yes.
Like, whenever they're talking to each other, any of them, I see the connections between all of them.
Yeah, for sure.
And I see how hard it could be on both ends. I don't know. And there's a time where Mason tells Madison that he's all in for her.
Well, like, that's, like, right at the end.
Yes. And then it was such a weird conversation because she went into that conversation to break up with him because
it seemed like
Alex asked her to be his girlfriend.
Was that time or right after?
Alex asked the night before for her to be his girlfriend. She said yes. She went to go in the next day to tell him that...
Tell Mason.
Yes, that she was breaking up with him because they were boyfriend, girlfriend. That's when they went in to have that conversation, and she thought he knew. And it was...
No.
Oh, was that before then?
Oh, yeah, you're switching that
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
So he says that to her first, but she had originally already said she was going to break up with him in that before that conversation.
Yes.
Then he said that, and I feel like it threw her.
Postponed it. Yes.
Yes. And which was, I don't know, it's all stupid. I don't understand why he said that because that was never the vibe. Like, I knew he liked both of them, but I always got the vibe that it was Meg.
Yeah, but, like, it was like that one in the conversation before where Madison was, like, basically explaining, like, how she seemed super cool the whole time, but, like, yeah, you're here to do too, like, you're dating two people, I get it, I am too, whatever, everything's cool, and then she kind of explained, like, I'm, like, affirmations, like, I'm becoming stronger with other person.
Yep.
And no one like, Alex and Mason don't know that they are both dating Madison.
Yes.
At this point. Or whatever. Alex does figure it out.
Well, because she tells him.
Yes.
After he asks her to be his girlfriend.
Yes. But, like, not before that.
No.
So Madison needs more reassurance or whatever, and then Mason's like, cool. And then, like, the next convo they have, it's when he says that, like, yeah, I like you a lot. You're my number one. I want to put my energy into you, blah, blah, blah. And then that's when, like, they leave or whatever, and then we see Madison again with Alex. They have a great conversation or whatever, and then they become boyfriend-girlfriend. And then that becomes a huge, big deal.
And then Mason hugs Alex and is like, congrats, buddy. I'm so happy for you. And it's so awkward. Yeah, because by that point, Alex knows it's Mason.
Yes.
And it was so awkward watching him let Mason hug him. And oh my God, it was just a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah, it was weird. We also learned that, like, Alex was also seeing Meg, or, like, not seeing, but had several dates with Meg. Mm-hmm. Madison also thought that was interesting.
That they had the same type in men, basically.
Yeah, that they're, yeah. The overlapping or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know.
So, the whole boyfriend-girlfriend thing, girls go, like, Madison tells the girls, they cheer, but Alex tells the boys, they yell so loud that everyone can hear in the prison complex.
Mm-hmm.
We get the Alex knows that that Mason is going to be broken up with at some point.
It's all awkward.
It's all very awkward in those moments. And then we get
then we get Madison talking to Meg.
We get is it at that point?
Yes, because it's before Meg talks to Mason again.
Yes, but I think that might be two conversations, because that's not the conversation that they have that is really icky.
Okay, well, I was talking about the icky conversation.
Okay. Well, Madison does go to have a conversation with Mason to actually break up.
Yes.
So.
Oh, yeah.
So they have an actual breakup, and she opens it up by saying, "Oh man, I thought you heard and knew already."
Which, is so awkward to say.
It's sure.
Why would he know? I don't know. So then she's like, well, we're kind of boyfriend and girlfriend, and I just don't think it's going to work. And it's just such an awkward convo. And then Mason's just like, okay, well. Oh, and then she yells at him. Well, you said that
Yeah. This is Mason at this point is being broken up with, and then says, maybe he means it, maybe he doesn't, or maybe it's just trying to save...
he said it before they broke up. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows with the edit, or he's trying to save face or whatever, or you're embarrassed, but he says, when I told you were my number one, I actually went and regretted that, because I don't feel like that's...
But also, maybe he really didn't feel like that.
Maybe.
That's the hard part.
Yeah, it's really hard to know which, the chicken or the egg, blah, 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 which came first. But he's trying to say, you aren't actually my number one. That felt wrong to say after I said it, and I regret doing that. And she's just like, well, anyway, you lost me.
She gets, hostile.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, she's just such a bitch.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand you're upset now because he said that, because woe is you, you're not fucking top queen anymore. And two people aren't pining after you. But maybe his connection, like I said, I really thought it was always Meg. Yeah. Because their connection to me made more sense. Yeah. Just from me, if I was looking for a potential husband, their connection makes more sense to get married than Madison and his.
Correct.
So it has to be all about her. Always. So then she gets hostile and she's rude to him. And then so they're like, okay, bye. And they leave.
Yes, they both awkwardly leave.
So then she goes to fucking Meg.
She goes to Meg and says, and
tells... he, tears him a new asshole. Oh my God.
And tells Meg that she told Mason, well, maybe you just lost both of us. And
which was also crazy.
Yeah, that was weird.
That's rude.
You're speaking for someone else. And I don't know what the conversation actually was, because edits or whatever. So we don't know if Meg and her were on the same side of this at this point or whatever.
But the edit to me is you're manipulating Meg now in this conversation.
Yes.
To make it so Mason loses both because you told him he's going to.
Yes.
Which is fucked.
Yeah. And Meg is no, you didn't say that. No, no.
She's so uncomfortable because it's not Madison's place to talk for Meg.
Yeah.
And whatever Meg decides, that should be up to her. She should be able to have her own conversation, talk to Mason, decide. But you're putting all this shit in her head now.
Yes.
About, well, he said this to me and blah, blah, blah. And he's just saying that he didn't want me because of, you're just, now to her, it's well, I'll never know.
Yes, which is what she does.
Yeah.
She is talking to one of her other girl friends and is saying, I don't, it's confusing and I don't know if I'm being picked or... whatever.
Or if I was the default choice now because Madison broke up with you.
Yes.
And I understand that's always going to be a fear, but that's
part of the show.
Yes. There's no other option. Yes, you'll never know.
Yeah. If you're dating two people, you either know or you'll never know.
And I wish that we could have seen this with Madison never talking to Meg with that last conversation, because I really think she planted a lot of shit in her head, and that bugs me because it's not fair anymore.
No, you're manipulating. Madison wanted Mason to hurt.
Yes, and this reminds me of, remember whatever season it was that one girl knew the guy? It was her ex. Was that Nancy or not Nancy?
That was season 5.
Yeah, And she kept being like, well, I'm not going to tell you anything, but he used to have me at his apartment, and like he had a really beautiful apartment. It was huge, like it's stuff like that. Like you don't say those things. This is supposed to be a blind experiment of your own opinions on this person. You're not supposed to be there planting ideas in people's brains. That's so fucked up. So that really bugged me too, which is also why I don't like Madison, because you piss me off and now you ruin somebody else's experience. So then Meg goes into the room with Mason to, like, this would be their final conversation or whatever. Are they getting engaged or not? And she confronts him about some of the stuff and tries to talk to him about it.
Well, we actually don't know what day this is. We don't know if this would be the final conversation or engagement or whatever. But it is near the end, yes.
Well, I would assume that because he was trying to make a decision or whatever.
Yeah.
But then she confronts him, which she has every right to do, and asks him questions. And then says, like, I can't, because I will never know if you would have, or you're picking me because you have to.
Yeah.
And I think that's shitty, and talks about Madison said this and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, but I always really liked you. And I'm sure you could look through his notebook and know that. We all knew that. I don't know.
Yeah, well, like, it's hard to confirm that with the edit. And it also, like, you can write a fucking notebook.
I know. It's sad.
You'll never prove it one way or the other. So it's really, you have to trust. And she doesn't. And they break up. And they're both going home. And
it just bugs me because I think they actually worked well together.
Yes.
And I think they could have had a great chance. I mean, I did see the preview for the next episodes. And they walk in together holding hands. So, well, everybody would have seen that.
Nope. Okay. So,
back to bitch face.
Alex, the bitch face Alex.
Oh, Alex is great.
Alex is great. Alex and Madison have another conversation. So, this is like the proposal timing conversations or whatever. They go into it. They talk. They're having a great time. And then it's a weird bunch of cuts, but they talk about the breakup between Madison and Mason.
And she lays into Mason.
Yes.
And evidently we don't even see her actually laying into him.
She is very negative from what we see, and apparently it's worse according to other podcasts. And
Alex slightly defends the man.
Yes.
Alex slightly says, well, I see it from Mason's side. I get it on your side as well. Like, I do see both sides, but I mean, give him some slack, basically.
Yes.
And Madison's like, you're invalidating me, and I just want you to say, I'm sorry you felt that way. And what?
Madison is the kind of person that you need to be on her side 100% of the time.
And you have to make her feel better no matter what. And otherwise she shuts down and she just sits there and says, I just don't want to talk about Mason anymore.
Yeah.
What?
It was probably a very long conversation that got cut down to minutes for us. And it was awkward. And it really exemplified their confrontation styles, where she was just like shutting down I don't want to talk about the future right now. My mood's been ruined. The vibe's killed. Blah, blah, blah. She says all these things.
Because she says talk about anything else. So then he tries to talk about a future thing. And he's like, so what would you want to do in this? And she's like, I don't want to think about the future right now. Yeah. Well, then what the fuck do you want? Because you don't want to talk about whatever. So
yeah.
So then he talks about how her avoidance, he doesn't know if it's something he could get past because it's not his style of communication. And you have to be able to communicate with each other.
Yeah, he doesn't want to have big fights and then be angry at each other, walk away for a week.
Yeah.
Or come back, be together, great for a week, then have another fight, blow up. He doesn't want to do that. He's too old for that.
Which is very valid to not want to deal with for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So then she says, so is this it then? And he said, I think so.
Yeah. And he ends the relationship, which is crazy for a show like this, but good for you, Alex.
Yeah, good for you for standing up for, not just doing it to continue being on TV.
Yeah. What a champ.
I'm proud of him. I was just thinking about who was talking to each other, and was it Mason and Madison when... No, somebody broke up with them, but the other person didn't understand. So they had to say it again. and it was very awkward.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
That did happen.
And it was it Dave
It was-
and Molly?
No.
Yes, it was.
What?
It was Dave and Molly, and because Dave
yeah.
said, I have to see things through with Lauren.
Yes.
And then she said she kept like trying to force again for him to say it again. Like she was like she didn't understand.
It was like Dave said that, and then I think it came the way it came across in the edit or whatever was like Molly was asking Dave to say the words, like say me Dave, done you Molly, no go.
But he did. When you say I have to see things through with another woman, that means we are done.
But it could also be the edit, and they could have taken that line and put it in front of everything else, so it sounded.
But I don't think so, because she talks about it when she talked to Lauren about it.
Yeah, I guess.
I think it was weird. I don't know why I just thought of that. And I was like, that was an awkward situation.
I don't know. At that point, it really sounded like Dave was trying to get. And Molly pulls that up and says that, like, Molly feels that Dave is trying to make her end things with him. And she's spending that whole time being like, no, like, you need to say the words that we are breaking up.
But I disagree. He did tell you that already.
Okay, well, we're way past that.
We all have different communication styles, evidently.
Okay.
Anyways, so
yeah.
So I'm so pumped that Madison got fucked and didn't get to continue on the show because I was really not looking forward to watching her more.
Yes.
I know we have to see her again because as per the preview, I know she shows up with her ugly pink hair. So, but that's fine. I can deal with one episode.
Yeah.
What if they came back? What if like Alex just decided and he was like, actually, I do want to be on the show with her. I'd die. I don't want that.
No, it's not happening.
Okay, so if we go through our couples of do we think they'll actually get married?
Yes. Joey and Monica.
I'm going to go yes.
I'm also going to go yes. They sure do seem like the Brad and Tiffany of this season.
Yeah, I can be on board with that. Sarah and Ben. I want to say yes because I'm hopeful because I like them together.
I think they're going to make it to
the altar.
The altar. I'm gonna guess
Sarah
says no.
Okay. Who's our third couple? Oh, fucking Virginia.
Virginia and Devin.
No, I'm calling no on that one.
I don't think they make it.
No, I don't even think they'll make it to the altar.
I don't think they'll make it to the altar.
Okay.
Dave and Lauren.
No. I want everything for Lauren, but no.
Yeah. Do you think they make it all the way to the altar?
I don't think so. I think his sister's going to fuck shit up. Because I think his sister not being on board with this is going to be a huge issue.
Yeah.
I really do. I think that's going to be a problem because Dave loves his sister.
Yeah.
So we'll see, but I think that it's going to be an issue and they're not going to make it.
I think they'll make it to the altar. I think Dave will probably say no, or maybe if we're lucky, Lauren will say no, or maybe things will completely change and then they'll actually be good together.
Maybe. Who's our other couple? Isn't there one
Taylor
more?
and Daniel. The drama's happening right now. So I'm
going to say yes.
I think I'm going to throw two very alternate things because I didn't see the preview for the next episodes. If they get through this weird thing.
Yep.
With the Instagram follows, I think they'll make it to the altar. And I'll think yes. It's either they're going to make it to the altar and I think yes, or the thing that they're going through right now is going to ruin it and they're done so.
All right.
Okay.
Good.
Guess we're done.
See you
tomorrow night.